children, I welcome you all once again to your English class. I hope you all are doing fine. Children, for today's English lesson, we are going to continue the fourth lesson from your honeycomb book, The Ashes That Made Trees Bloom. Children, in our previous video lesson, we had learned about this good old couple who had a pet dog. They pampered and treated the dog like their own child. They actually, because they had no children of their own, so they considered this dog to be their own child. So we had seen that how the old couple became rich when Muko helped them find a treasure. Like a pile of gold dug in the ground when the rice farmer was working in his fields. So we had also seen there was this wicked couple who was not at all kind, gentle and generous to dogs. Okay, they always mistreated, scolded and kicked dogs. So they tried to persuade Muko to find them a treasure, but what did it find instead? It found them what? A dead kitten. And out of anger, out of frustration, out of this like too much anxiousness, what do the old couple do? The wicked old couple, they kill the dog Muko, okay? And you know what would have happened to the old couple. They loved the dog like their own kid, and when they came to know that the beloved dog, beloved pet is no more, they were really mourning the loss. So for mourning, he went under the pine tree where the dog was buried, where the wicked old couple threw or flung the dog's carcass, and he built a bamboo kind of you saw that he kind of bamboo basket, you see, so that he put soil there and he put some flowers, and then he put a cup of water and some food for Muko's spirit to eat. So we had seen that the old dame had a dream, and in that dream he was asked by his pet dog to make a mortar and a hammer for pounding rice, for his rice pastry, okay? And also he asked that they need to cut down the tree and they have to make what? A meal and a mortar. So exactly that same thing was done by the man, okay, by that old good man. He he cut the pine tree into halves, and he used about 2 meter of it to create 2 feet long wood to create or to make what? To make the mortar. Now also we had seen that when they pound rice, when they did that crushing, when they were crushing the rice for their rice pastry, and when they were grinding the beans for their bean sauce, what happened? Yes, the dough changed into gold coins and the sauce was dripping like gold, rain of gold, dropped like rain, okay? Rain of gold. Meanwhile, the envious neighbor, we know that the envious neighbor were always looking at them, what they are doing, because obviously they were mourning, so they must be crying, they must be sad. See, these people really found great pleasure in watching someone grieve. So we see that this old couple, they were watching everything, the meal changing the sauce into gold, and then the mortar changing the rice into gold coins. So now they were greedy as well. Obviously they will be thinking of some plan to get some wealth for them as well. So let's see. "Goody me," cried the old hag as she saw each dripping of sauce turning into old yellow gold, until in a few minutes the tub under the meal was full of shining mass of gold. So here hag means that obviously wife, okay? So she, because she was grinding the beans to fetch them what? Bean sauce. But instead what they getting? They were getting gold. So the tub below, kept beneath the meal, filled in with what? Filled in with mass of gold. Now let's begin from here. So the old couple were rich again. Yes, we see that the old couple were rich again, because last time you remember they had given so much of fees, they petted their dog, they pampered their dog, which is no more. The next day, the stingy and wicked neighbor came and borrowed the mortar and magic meal. Okay, so stingy means miserly. Okay, those who are very conjuice type thing. Okay, so yes, miserly means they were really very, they won't help but they need money for themselves. They were very miserly. They filled one with boiled rice, and what did they do? They borrowed, they took the magic meal and the mortar, and now because they have seen the process, they know about the whole process. What did they do? They pounded rice, the boiled rice, obviously they had boiled rice, and now they are going to pound it, they are going to crush it, grind it. So, and the other with beans. So in the meal they filled it with beans. Okay, then the old man began to pound and woman to grind. So exactly like that old good couple did. So the man was pounding and the woman was going to grind the beans. But at the first blow and turn, blow means blow is this one, which who was doing? Yes, the old man, the wicked old man was going to blow, that means going to pound the rice, and turn, she was going to turn the spin, right, for the grinding to take place. The pastry and sauce turned into a foul mass of worms. Okay, did they get gold? No. What did they get? A foul mass of worms. Okay, see, the dog loved its own master so much, okay, that it was helping just them. The pine tree was helping just whom? Just the old couple, the good old couple. It did not do anything. The mortar and the meal did not fetch them any gold, but instead it fetched what? A foul mass of worms. Still more angry at this. Now you remember that they were angry with the dog and they killed it. Now they were angry with the mortar and meal also. They chopped the meal into pieces to use as firewood. So they cut it into pieces. Obviously you know that the mortar was made out of the wood from the pine tree. So they chopped it and they used it as firewood. Obviously in cold countries people need for their chimneys some firewood. So now let's see what we have in the next page, page 16. We have a comprehension check to see if you have understood the chapter till now, because yes, it's quite a lengthy chapter, so it will be taking time. And we have the first question. Let's write it down. Why did the neighbors kill the dog? Comprehension check. This is page number 60. Okay. Number 1. Why did the neighbors kill the dog? When the dog stopped under a pine tree and began scratching the ground When the dog stopped under a pine tree and began scratching the ground, the neighbors thought that it had found them a treasure, but when they dug it, there was a foul smelling dead kitten. Yes, children? So we have this answer here. When the dog stopped under a pine tree and began scratching the ground, the neighbors thought that it had found them a treasure, but when they dug it, there was a foul smelling cat. So, out of anger, they killed the dog. Yes, we are complete with this answer. Now let's see number 2, mark the right item. The old farmer and his wife loved the dog because it helped them in their day-to-day work. No. As if it was their own baby. Yes. As they were kind to all living beings. So, they loved the dog as if it was their own baby. I am writing the answer. Number 1, the answer will be B. Number 2, when the old couple became rich, okay, so last one, C, lived comfortably and were generous towards their poor neighbors. We have C as the right answer. Now number 3, the greedy couple borrowed the meal and mortar to make, yes, they did not want to make rice pastry, instead they wanted to make, yes, they wanted to make 3's answer, a pile of gold. Yes. So we are done with the comprehension check right here. Now let's move ahead with the second part. We will see what happens in the second part. Not long after that, we have seen 2 incidents happen when the wicked couple tried to get gold for themselves, get actually the treasure for themselves, but they did something which was not at all suitable. Now let's move to the second part of the story. What happens? Not long after that, the good old man dreamed again. Okay, so it had a dream once more. And the spirit of the dog spoke to him, telling him how the wicked people had burned the meal made from the pine tree. So he got to know through the spirit of the dog that that old wicked couple had burned the meal and used it as firewood. Take the ashes of the meal, sprinkle them on the withered trees and they will bloom again. Okay, so what did he say? What did the dog say? That take the ashes from the burnt down meal and the mortar and then you are going to sprinkle it. Sprinkle means to spread little by little on something, and then spread it on the withered trees. Withered means dried and dead, okay, so almost dead trees. So the dog said that you are going to use the ashes on withered trees and they will blossom again. So we are on the title of the we are on that part of the chapter where we will know about this title, why the chapter is called so, the ashes that made trees bloom. Yes, so let's read it. The old man awoke. Okay, so he was dreaming, now he awoke and went at once to his wicked neighbor's house, where he found the miserable old pair sitting at the edge of their square fireplace. So obviously they were enjoying their victory. They have killed the dog and now they have burnt the meal, and now they are just warming themselves up at the fireplace. Okay, so let's see. In the middle of the floor, smoking and spinning. Yes, they were dancing, they were enjoying themselves, they were having a gala time, they were enjoying themselves. From time to time, they warmed their hands and feet with the blaze from some bits of the meat, while behind them lay a pile of the broken pieces. So not everything was burning, some pieces were still left. The good old man humbly asked for the ashes, okay, because his nature was like that. He was not impolite, he would not get angry. He instead asked his neighbor to politely give him the ashes of the burnt wood. Okay. Though the covetous couple turned up their noses at him, turned up their noses means to treat them very badly, to treat them with contempt, with disgust. They were insulting the old man who has come to take what? The ashes. And scolded him as if he were a thief. They let him fill his basket with the ashes. So they said, what will happen with this ashes? Take it, because obviously it's waste for us. So on coming home, the old man took his wife into the garden. Okay, so he took it because the wife did not dream, the man had the dream. So he took his wife to the garden. It being winter, their favorite cherry tree was bare. So obviously, you know, during winter season the leaves shed off, the trees do not bloom. So here they saw that their old cherry tree was not, obviously it was withered, it had no leaves. He sprinkled a pinch of ashes on it, as told by the spirit of the dog in his dream. So they sprinkled the ashes of the wood from the pine tree on the dead cherry tree. He sprinkled a pinch of ashes on it, and lo, it sprouted blossoms. Sprouting means to grow, okay? It started budding. Buds began to develop until it became a cloud of pink blooms. Okay, so cherry tree had that pink flowers. Bloom means here flowers. It appeared on it, which perfumed the air. You know, children, so the cherry tree is very it gives off really nice fragrance, nice smell. So the bloom, the flowers were there. The news of this filled the village. So they thought, how this can happen? The cherry tree do not grow flowers in the winter. This is magic. So the neighbors were really, the people in the village were really excited to see that cherry tree, and everyone ran out to see the wonder. So they ran out to see this wonderful sight. The covetous couple also heard the story, and gathering up the remaining ashes of the meal, kept them to make withered trees bloom. So obviously whatever the old couple did, this wicked couple followed. They thought they also needed. So they were really greedy, and they kept the remaining ashes to make their withered trees bloom. The kind old man, hearing that his lord, the daimyo, was to pass along the high road. I told you this was the time of the daimyo when there were landowners who were really wealthy landowners. So when this kind old man heard that his daimyo, the Lord is going to go with a procession, is going to come in his village to pass along the high road near his village, he set out to see him, taking his basket of ashes. As the train approached, okay, train here means his procession, the people and people with the vehicles and with the chariots, everything, the people who were on foot as well as in vehicles. He climbed up into an old withered cherry tree. So when the train was approaching the withered tree, he quickly climbed on the cherry tree. Now in the days of the daimyos, it was the custom when their lord passed by for all the loyal people to shut up their high windows. So yes, when the Lord passed by the road, when the Lord passed by their houses, there was this rule or law that they had to close their windows, shut off their windows, and their high windows must be shut down, closed. They even pasted them fast with a slip of paper so that it might not open by any chance. So even they lowered the curtain, they put the blinds down. Blinds are usually like curtains which are used to cover the window, so as not to commit the impertinence of looking down on his lordship. Yes, so they need to accept the honor, they need to respect the Lord, so they used to do it. This was the custom. Custom is a tradition. Now all the people along the road would fall upon their hands and knees and remain prostrate until the procession passed by. So what was the custom? So until suppose someone is not inside their home, they are outside, what they were supposed to do? They used to sit down on their knees and put their hands on the road and lie with their heads close to the ground, means obviously on the ground, and then they used to remain that way until the whole procession has crossed their way. Okay. Now the train drew near, so the procession was coming close to the withered tree, to the cherry tree. One tall, competent man marched ahead, crying out to the people by the way. So obviously there was this tall man who was instructing people to bow down, to kneel down and to stay that way, and obviously clearing the road for the Lord to come. Get down on your knees, get down on your knees, and everyone kneeled down while the procession was passing. So that tall man screamed aloud, everyone could hear it. Suddenly the leader of the van caught sight of the aged man up in the tree. So the leader who was in the van, he saw this man who was on that tree. He was about to call out to him in an angry tone. Call about means he wanted to call him down. He wanted to ask what was the reason, what he was doing in the tree. Because yes, the custom was that whenever the procession passed, you have to bow down and you have to put your head on the floor. But he was on the tree. Why? But seeing he was such an old fellow, he pretended not to notice him and passed him by. So he tried to pretend, he tried to act that he did not see him, owing to the old age of the man, because he was so old. Okay, so when the daimyo palanquin drew near, so when the Lord's palanquin is the palki here, okay, you must have seen brides in India being carried from their own house to their in-laws' house in palanquins. So the old man, taking a pinch of ashes from his basket, scattered it over the tree. In a moment, it burst into blossom. So what happened? He did the same act which he had done with the tree, with the withered cherry tree in his garden. So he sprinkled ashes on that withered tree. The delighted daimyo ordered the train to be stopped. He said stop because he wanted to see this wonder, okay? And got out to see the wonder. Calling the old man to him, he thanked him and ordered presents of silk robes. What were the presents? Silk robes, sponge cakes, spans and other rewards to be given him. He even invited him to his castle. So he said, you must come to my castle. He was really impressed. We can see that, right? Now let's see. So the old man went gleefully home to share his joy with his dear old wife. So this old man, he was very happy to receive all these gifts, and then he went to his home to inform and to tell all this story that happened, incident, to his dear old wife. But when the greedy neighbor heard of it, yes, he has to do everything that the old man was doing. He took some of the magic ashes and went out on the highway. There he waited until a daimyo's train came along, and instead of kneeling down like the crowd, he climbed a withered cherry tree. When the daimyo himself was almost directly under him, because yes, with the blossoming, he wanted to shower flowers on the daimyo like the old man did, the good old man did. But let's see what happens. Yes, he threw a handful of ashes. He did not sprinkle them. Okay, remember that the dog spirit had said to sprinkle them, but he took a handful of them over the tree, which did not change a particle. Nothing happened. No blossoming, no blooming. Yes, the wind blew the fine dust in the noses. Okay, so the dust, the ashes went into the noses of the men, the procession people. Okay, so, and eyes of the daimyo and his wife. So where did it went? Into the nose and eyes of the daimyo and his wife who was accompanying him. Such sneezing and choking, they started sneezing, okay? So achu was everywhere, and they also got irritated. They started choking with the dust. Choking means to get your windpipe blocked, and you can't inhale or exhale properly. You choke. It all spoiled all the pomp and dignity of the procession. So it was going with so much of pomp and show. It was going with so much cheerful mood. But it spoiled everything. The man whose business it was to cry. Cry means not crying like literally with tears, but get on your knees. The tall man, competent tall man. He seized the old fool by the collar. So what did it do? It got hold of the collar of the old man. And what did it do? What did he do? He dragged him from the tree and tumbled him. Tumbled means to roll, okay? He just kicked him, tumbled him. It just dragged him, first pulled him out, and then tumbled him and his ash basket into the ditch by the road. So along the road you sometimes have that lower level of areas. So he threw the old man and his basket. They both tumbled down that ditch. Then beating him soundly. What happens next? Only they did not stop till there. They beat him really soundly. Means he was beaten black and blue. He left him for dead. Yes, so the wicked old man was dead. Thus the wicked old man died in the mud, but the kind friend of the dog dwelt in peace and plenty, and both he and his wife lived to a green old age. Yes, so the man was dead, the old man was dead, and the old couple, which was very much loved by the dog, the spirit of the dog helped them in these ways, and they lived happily ever after until they lived. Okay, because obviously they were old. It's customary to die. Okay, when you are a living thing, you have to die. So now this is written by William Elliot Griffiths. You must know this. So children, we are done for today's lesson. We are done with the explanation of the text. In our next video lesson, we will be doing the meanings. We will be finishing the meanings and we will be completing the question answers. We will try to complete the question answers, and obviously we have working with language, working with text. We will be working with that. Till then, children, please take care of yourself and your family. Bye bye.